When your teen is sitting in their room scrolling through their phone, they aren't just looking at images. They're attending a master class in how to view human beings. They're learning a script, a set of rules for how to act, how to treat a partner, and what to expect from intimacy. But here's the reality that most parents don't know. The script, pornography, what it teaches is that it's not just unrealistic, it's actually making our teens less satisfied and more disconnected. Today, we're diving into groundbreaking research from 2025 that reveals how pornography is rewiring sexual scripts of a generation and why it leads to a drive for dominance, and most importantly, how you as a parent can help them to reclaim their empathy in their future. Welcome to the Parent Guide. I'm your host, Matt Bulkley, here to bring you the latest in research strategies and guidance, tips, and support for helping your teen to overcome pornography addiction. Thanks for tuning in today. So in psychology, we talk about sexual scripts. Think of these as mental blueprints. Just like a movie script tells an actor what to say and do, a sexual script tells a teen how a romantic encounter should go. And historically, these scripts came from parents or faith communities and peers, but today, pornography is the primary author for many. Recent replication studies by Wright and colleagues in 2025 confirmed troubling trend. High exposure to pornography is directly linked to teens adopting scripts centered on dominance and control. So instead of sex being a language of connection, it becomes a performance of power. The research shows that teens aren't just seeing these behaviors, they are internalizing them as the only way to be. Well, parents, what does this look like in the real world? It isn't always obvious. And as a therapist, I see it manifest in three specific ways. So one, rigid control. The teen feels that they must dictate every aspect of a relationship or physical interaction to feel manly or in charge. Second would be mimicry of aggression. They begin to use language or physical commands that they've seen on a screen, often without realizing how jarring or disrespectful it is to a real life partner. And third, the emotional wall. This is the most painful one. When the focus is on dominance, emotional intimacy dies. The teen becomes a performer rather than a partner. Warning signs: secrecy, irritability, unrealistic views of sex, frustration with boundaries. So parents, if you notice your teen expressing frustration when a partner wants to talk about feelings, or if they seem to view relationships as a conquest rather than a connection, well, you're likely seeing the pornography script in action. Well, here is the big lie of pornography. It promises that more dominance equals more pleasure, but the 2025 research proves the exact opposite. Teens who enact these dominant behaviors report significantly lower sexual satisfaction. Why? Well, because human satisfaction is wired into attachment. When you treat a partner like an object to be controlled, you lose the oxytocin hit, which is that bonding hormone that comes from mutual respect and vulnerability. So they're chasing a high that their own behavior is preventing them from reaching, and they're left feeling empty, leading them to watch more porn to fill the void and creating this vicious cycle of addiction. So how do we break the script? Well, it starts with you as parents. First, we must move from interrogation into conversation. So don't just ask, are you watching porn? Talk about the difference between a screen and a human being, an actual person with feelings and emotions, families and dreams. Explain that porn is a stunt performance. It isn't real life. Second, we need to model emotional awareness. Help them to label their feelings. If they can't identify their own emotions, then they'll never be able to respect the emotions of a partner. And this is a huge issue for so many teen boys. Their emotional expression muscles are underdeveloped or stunted. They are in need of learning how to identify and express their emotions. And this becomes a part of so many teen boys' treatment plans as they enter therapy for pornography addiction. However, I know that for many of you, as a simple talk, it isn't enough. The pull of the digital world is too strong, and this is why I always advocate for the Recovery Toolbox for Teens. Recovery Toolbox for Teens, it's not just a filter, it's an evidence-based structured program, provides you, the parent, with specific scripts that you need to guide the recovery process. It's about replacing the pornographic script with a script of healing and honesty. And it's the most comprehensive outpatient resource that I've seen for families in early stages of intervention. Includes a trio of workbooks: the Breaking Free workbook, the 101 tips for quitting porn for your teen, and the parent guide for you as a parent. And you can get it in the bookstore at therapyassociates.net. Parents, but let's be honest, sometimes the addiction has progressed too far. If there's a total breakdown in the family dynamics, if you no longer have any influence in your teen's life, if there's pervasive mental health issues or sexual acting out or sexual trauma involved, or if the compulsive behavior has become unmanageable at home, you're going to need more than the recovery toolbox. You're going to need a circuit breaker. And this is where our Star Guides Wilderness Therapy comes in. Star Guides is one of the only programs in the country that's specifically designed to treat adolescent sexualized behaviors and pornography addiction in a wilderness setting. So by removing the digital noise, placing a teen in the raw, honest environment of nature, we can stabilize the crisis. It becomes really the ultimate digital detox and disruption to this addiction process. In the wilderness, there are no screens to hide behind. It's under the care of expert clinicians. Teens learn to regulate their emotions and really, for the first time in years, begin to rebuild a healthy relationship with themselves and their families. It's a turning point. It's where the old script is finally burned and a new life begins. And it's the reset that so often is needed when nothing else has worked. So parents, your teen's sexual development is too important to be left to an algorithm. They deserve a life of deep connection, not distant dominance. Remember, early intervention can be the key to disrupting these patterns early. So if you're seeing the warning signs, don't wait. Check the links in the description for the Recovery Toolbox for Teens and learn more about the life-changing work at Star Guides. You are the guide that your teen needs. Let's start the journey today. I'm Matt Bulkley. Thank you for tuning in today, and I will see you in the next video.